when I was a kid and the Star Wars commercials would be on television for the action figures, and they had them all lined up on some like 1970s Formica mustard colored table or something like that. I just loved it. I used to set up my action figures on the kitchen table, and the dude with the cardigan sweater would tell you all about the line of action figures and who is coming out soon, like the new Boba Fett. In this case, I'm not wearing a cardigan sweater, and I don't really have any. I think I have one Star Wars figure out here. This is all spacesuits. So I have a thing for spacesuits. I wouldn't quite say it's a fetish, but if I could wear a spacesuit at work and just block out the world, I absolutely would. It would be awesome. Adam Savage has a couple good videos on his Tested channel about spacesuits. Actually, recently they visit Chris Gilman's shop, and he's responsible for most of the spacesuits you see in movies today. But I've been researching spacesuits for a long time. Actually, this book looks like it came from the Carson City Library. Sorry, I'm not paying back dues on there. Somebody sold this to me on eBay. But lots of cool books on spacesuits in my collection, even one on Russian spacesuits. So good stuff out there. But I have been collecting spacesuited action figures since I was a kid, and there's no particular rhyme nor reason to this space-themed episode, just talking about some of my favorites. So let's pick a few out. So an honorable mention goes to domino effect goes to the Space 1999 EagleOne action figures. The EagleOne came out before the Millennium Falcon, I believe, and was probably the biggest vehicle playset out there for action figures. These figures are more like 3 inches tall, but I have an Eagle. We'll review that at a later date. But the likenesses on the characters are pretty good. This is Barbara Bain. Probably a lot of you guys are too young to remember the original Mission Impossible television show, but she was in it, and so was her husband, Martin Landau, and he was also in Space 1999. So here's you could see the size difference. They're about 3 inches tall, which is very different. So an honorable mention for the spacesuits, but some other interesting ones. So I always loved the spacesuit from Alien, and Super 7 has produced a whole bunch of colorways on that, including the 3 main characters who explore the derelict spacecraft. This is Kane right here. He had the most all the spacesuits were muted in color, but he had the most sort of neutral color spacesuit. And of course, he's ill-fated in the story. He gets the face hugger attached to his face. And then thus starts our beloved franchise, thanks to Kane. But now Hya Toys also got the license to produce the spacesuits for Alien, and they did their version. Now here you could see their version of 3.75 is taller than Super 7's version of 3.75. So, of course, Hya Toys is more realistic and proportional. However, the Super 7, they appeal to 5-point of articulation action figure collectors. But all of them have removable helmets, so you can pop them off and see the character underneath. And the same goes for the Hya ones as well, which is a little more realistic, although his head is not, he suffered explosive decompression here. His head was not supposed to come off with the helmet. But there you go. So kind of looks like Kane, I guess, a little bit. If you squint your eyes and close one of them. So yeah, the alien spacesuit action figures. Now, the name of the designer escapes me at the moment. I don't think it was John Mallow, but these are like cricket pads and cricket gloves and samurai-esque armor. There's just tons of detail on the Nostromo spacesuit helmets, but very cool stuff. And they even make the white version of Ripley in the escape vehicle, where she's in her barely nothing underwear before she blows the alien out of the airlock with the harpoon gun. The funny thing is this lens has fogged up over time, but it kind of looks like the scene where she's almost hyperventilating when she's confronting the alien at the end. But boy, oh boy, you want to talk about a terrible likeness? That looks more like Rose Tico from Star Wars, or one of the earlier films. And then they made this one for. Now, when I bought this one, it looked just like a red variant. And I bought it. I didn't realize it was transparent or translucent. Had I known, I probably wouldn't have purchased it. But whatever. It's neat. It's kind of odd, nonetheless. So some other weird spacesuited guys. This is a Microman. I collected Micronauts as a kid, and American Micronauts evolved out of the Microman line, and so you could. I think they reissued Microman. I'm not quite sure on the exact details of the timeline, but I think it was the early 2000s. They did a reissue and produced a bunch of them, and this is one of those. So they are bloody awful. They're so delicate. They barely hold their pose. The plastic is brittle. They're not what I remember my original Micronauts being like. They're just very delicate, very poorly made, I must say. Too bad though, because Micronauts are awesome. So a favorite of mine are these Astro Zombies from Super 7. I really like the sort of retro, I don't know, almost rockabilly style designing of the characters. So whenever they come out with a new colorway, I grab them. Each of these should have a lightsaber type of laser sword type of thing, and I have them all. I didn't bring them out for the photo shoot here. But unfortunately, this helmet dome is yellowing. But I guess for a nasty space zombie, it's appropriate, I suppose. That's the problem with transparent plastics is they are often subject to this yellowing or fogging, particularly with action figures. It's the things we love to collect only last a limited time, unfortunately. But just moving on to some other interesting ones. Here's some others. This is another Super 7 one, but look at that dark faceplate. I wonder what human character's under there. Oh, it's a monkey. So this is one of the Planet of the Apes, the original 70s Planet of the Apes films. This one escapes me. Whether it's Return to some. It's not Planet of the Apes. It's one of the sequels. I wish they would make the other figures for this line. And then another space monkey. This is from the Marky Mark version. Here's Marky Mark himself right now making a monkey out of himself for trying to remake a beautiful movie. Actually, the makeup effects in this version of Planet of the Apes were really awesome. I just thought the movie was lackluster, but this ape figure is pretty cool. In fact, I've used his head for custom ape figures here. I can't remember the guy's name in this movie. So there's some unbranded figures I have, like original, I shouldn't say original, authentic style NASA spacesuit figures. Here's a Gemini style one, and I believe this one is a Apollo mission suit. So the Gemini flight suits were that silver mylar, very, very different from actual lunar landing suits. These are more like flight suits. And then this one has weird articulation and all, but pretty cool though if you want a authentic NASA style spaceman. And these strange unbranded line of figures, they often are sold in like museum gift shops and things like that. And you could get, in this case, oh, there he goes, broke a hip. You can get this lunar rover to go with the set. And I believe they made like a 3-pack of different different NASA astronauts from different eras, but they largely look the same. So Eagle Force came out with some space-suited characters, including Joseph Stalin here for some reason in a spacesuit. And then this guy, I'm not sure if he's supposed to be a bad guy or not, but in my world, he's a good guy because he's wearing this kind of cool James Bond-esque matte helm, secret agent style spacesuit with mask. These Eagle Force figures are pretty great. I like them a lot. They're right on par with Joy Toy and Vitruvian hacks and all that sort of stuff. So Marvel came out with some figures from Guardians of the Galaxy, and here's that space dog, which gets an honorable place here in the space-suited collection. And this is a Doctor Who figure. This is more like a hazmat suit, I think. I pulled it out and I was like, well, I'm going to throw it in anyway. But this is that later version of Doctor Who, one of the later incarnations. To me, Doctor Who should always be the dude with the fedora and the long scarf. So I have a couple 3.75 Buzz Lightyears, and this one is a Super 7 Buzz Lightyear with a removable helmet. And this was like part of a mail order set that Super 7 was doing. And I have several of the figures from Lightyear. The Lightyear show, cartoon, whatever, film, in my opinion, was a great example of production design. Just all the hardware and vehicles and suits and everything like that were great. It's just, plagued with the silliness of the cartoon aesthetic. And but nevertheless, Buzz Lightyear is a beloved character. So here's one. This one is also 3.75 from a different manufacturer. This came with one of the ships. There's it's something like his XL15 that was made specifically for 3.75 figures. And I think it was sold at the Disney parks, if I remember correctly. So I actually tracked the ship down and got it. And it comes with this figure. And these foldable wings are on his backpack. And he can sit in the craft with the backpack on or without it. It's pretty great craft. It's not the ones that you could get at or at the time that you can get at Target or other places. I think it was a Parks exclusive vehicle. Pretty nice. I'll review it at some point. No spacesuit talk could be complete without Fisher-Price Adventure people, and no collection should be considered complete without them. This is one of my only ones, and I should really. When financial times get better, I will pad out the collection with more adventure people. This guy, he's pretty huge. Let's pull him up to a Fortnite figure. So here's the orange dude is Mission Specialist Jonesy. And this is Mr. Freeze from Batman. I don't recall which line of figures these are, but they're really excellent. And this Mr. Freeze figure is, he does not let down. He's great. He's got a great weapon, great aesthetics, and look at all the detail on the backpack and his freeze-proof armor here. Really cool figure. I like him a lot. And in my world, he will be a spacesuited guy, not a Mr. Freeze guy. So this is that mission specialist Jonesy. If you guys have like space vehicles and you need, generic spacesuited action figures for them, I highly recommend this guy. He's great. He's got the typical many points of articulation that Fortnite has, and the suit is actually just pretty darn nice. It's got this removable backpack. I believe his helmet is removable as well for that stupid Jonesy face. Yeah, it would be easier with some hot water or a heat gun, but yeah, the helmet pops off, and they did a pretty nice job on him. These Fortnite figures are kind of robust in size. I really like them a lot, and it's a shame that they sort of petered out, and we're not seeing any Fortnite figures anymore. They really did a great job on just creating original characters. Here's another Fortnite spacesuit guy. I don't recall what his name is. It might have been the Traveler or something like that. But pretty unique, weird looking sci-fi guy. A great citizen in your world building. So no spacesuit talk could be complete without Mars Attacks, and these are Super 7 Martians. And one has an open jaw, the other has the closed jaw, and what can I say other than ack. So this one here is a custom I did. I had this Playmobil helmet laying around, and I thought it might work with a 4-inch action figure, and it does not. It's a little big, but anyhow, I did it anyway. So this is a Marauder body with it's one of their silver. You can get these Marauder bodies in different colors, so I got the silver one for this. This backpack is from the Disney Tomorrowland movie. Super 7 did a bunch of action figures, and there's a little kid wearing this flight pack and an old-time leather football helmet. But the flight pack is really cool, so I just coupled it all together and put the Playmobil helmet on there. This cap is from Vitruvian Hacks, and they made a bunch of like boxing gear and stuff like that for 3.75 figures, and that head is a G.I. Joe Quinn head that I put on there. So without the helmet, he looks pretty good proportionally, and then you put the helmet on, and it's just kind of a little too big. I was kind of going for one of the, like a Moonraker kind of guy at the end of the James Bond movie Moonraker, when all the British space marines are emerge from the shuttle with their jetpacks, and they have this laser battle at the end of the movie. This one is one of the Star Wars prequel background characters. I tried to look his name up. I can't remember it before I did the video, but nothing was coming up. But for some reason, this dude is hard to get, and he's high priced. I'm glad I got him probably a couple years ago now, and I've held on to him ever since. Now, these three little guys are awesome. These are from Kas Robot. So if you don't know who Kas Robot is, he's a Russian figure producer, and he ships out of Poland, I believe. He might be Polish, but I do think he's Russian. So he has these little guys on his site. Look it up. It's KOS Robot, Kas Robot. These are not Glios driven, I do not believe. I'm not going to test them and pull them apart right here. But similar to the Glios world, when these become available, they usually do them in a drop. So it's not like these are evergreen where they'll be available all the time. You have to monitor the everything. You got to monitor his social media pages and the website and keep an eye out, and then you'll find out about a drop. And because these ship from Poland, everything just takes a long time. But when they arrive, you will not be disappointed. So these are actually kind of minis in scale. So if we take the Space 1999 3-inch figure, you'll see these guys are even a little shy of that. And the helmets and armor come off to reveal his little skull head, and the faceplate goes down, and he's got a detachable sword. And I think these also have some sort of blaster pistol somewhere. Oh yes, here's one here in the holster. Really cool stuff. I just like, every once in a while, I like the off the wall kind of aesthetics. So, and speaking of off the wall aesthetics, this has to be one of my absolute favorite spacesuit guys. This is Super 7's pre-code horror homage line. I think it was Ghostly Tales or something like that. This is Commander Ben Woodruff, and obviously Ben has had a bad day here. He's got a puncture in his glass dome, and his suit is ripped in multiple places, and he's basically a dead man walking. But very cool. I think if you're setting up a little scene where people discover a derelict spaceship, he would look great behind the controls there when people discover him somewhat mummified from the coldness of space. And I also have now, unfortunately, this is kind of incomplete. This is actually custom. This is the Outer Spacemen, and it is, her name was Terrairma. So I really wanted this orange version of this figure. Her head is off right now because I have to repaint it yet. And I couldn't find it anywhere. The orange version of Terrairma was like, when I could find it, it was going for insane money. And I was able to find the glow-in-the-dark version for a reasonable amount of money. So I bought that and I repainted it to represent the orange version. But I never finished her head, which I have to get to one day. But she's got the full backpack and a laser weapon and a huge space helmet. And actually, that's kind of what inspired me to do this guy's helmet. I was like, well, if she can have an oversized helmet and look somewhat normal, maybe this guy could. But I think it works better for her than it does for him, especially when her head is in place. But I'll get her finished one of these years after my 10,583 other projects. So to kind of sum up the spacemen theme, these aren't quite fully spacemen per se, because they do seem to have an open air mouth, but the armor and protective helmet and backpack and everything just makes it a good fit for the world of spacemen. This is my favorite action figure line, Knights of the Slice Toy Pizza. And this character is called the Vector Jump. He's wearing Vector Jump armor. So in the narrative behind the story, it could be any multitude of characters, but they wear the Vector Jump armor. In the storyline, the Vector is a sort of my best way to describe it would be the space between space. So it connects all sorts of worlds, and to transport or live in the Vector, regular people would need specialized armor and equipment like this. This particular version of it is my absolute favorite. He has a cloth jumpsuit on and his full armor, and look at the little details on his helmet with the eyesight readout and everything. These figures, once again, are all Glios driven, so you can pop off various parts, and the vector jump armor is no different. So, for example, you can take the backpack off, and there is full detail within the actual back plate of the character, and then some of this armor comes off as well. And if you wanted, you could swap hands or forearms or even heads and pull the head off and replace it with other parts. The head is a ball joint, but the arms and things like that would be Glios connections. And there's a Glios connection right there for you. It's sort of a barrel shape with a raised ring around it, and it fits into there. And all this goes a little bit easier with a heat gun, but Glios compatibility rules, and you can make infinite combinations or colorways with by just changing parts out from other figures. So that's my shout out to Knights of the Slice. Look them up. If you're not a patron, you're missing out on all sorts of great drops that happen for you. So the final piece here is this Leonard space capsule. So Leonard was supposed to, I don't know, there's a fella online who was seems to be like I don't know, a self-appointed spokesman for Leonard or something, or maybe he was on the payroll. I don't know, but he would sort of give updates on the forums about what Leonard was supposed to be releasing, and in my opinion, they just I don't know. It was a dud. I've never seen these mainstream stores. I actually, by some miracle, found this at a Big Lots store, which is literally 4 minutes from my house. I walked in and found several of them and purchased them all, and then sold them off to other collectors. But this is the Leonard space capsule, and it has their Leonard spacesuited figure in there. Now, while for play value for little kids, Leonard, I think, is pretty good, but they always have these sort of, they kind of remind me of the Power of the Force action figures with the heroic sculpts and all, and the overly inflated chests and all that. But that's the Leonard Spaceman, which comes with their version of a backpack. And, Leonard is, I don't want to say it's cheap. It's all right. I mean, they make some cool stuff, but it's got a cheaper price point for all their stuff than certainly cheaper than Hasbro or other people like other companies like that. Leonard always reminds me of Chap May a little bit. Now, I don't see much Chap May out there anymore, but Leonard, I do see Leonard as I have here and purchased this capsule. So there you go. That's the final Spaceman for the chat, and a little bit about the space capsule. Let's see if the batteries are still in this. Oh, good. Oh, no, they are. I got to take the batteries out. So there's a couple features in here. There's like little blinky lights and sound effects, stuff like that. But there you go. And makes a nice companion piece to the space station back here. And one more vehicle. This was from the Planet of the Apes. This came with that little monkey figure. And you can put him inside. And let's see, Monkey Man, where'd you go? There he is. And you can send him off on his way to go make more remakes with Marky Mark or populate the Planet of the Apes. So that's it for the spacesuits. All right, folks, have a great week.